Imagine a world where you never have to drive again. A world where your car isn't a liability, but a $30,000 autonomous goldmine that earns you passive income while you sleep. Except it's a $30,000 two-seater paperweight. It's a vehicle that takes up the road space of a sedan but carries the passenger load of a bicycle, all while relying on software that still hasn't quite mastered the not hitting stationary objects phase of development. It's a solution to traffic that involves adding more individual cars to the road. Today we're looking at why the Tesla Cybercab sucks, yet another attempt to revolutionize urban transit by someone who seems to have an almost pathological allergy to steering wheels. What could possibly go wrong? Well, it turns out a lot. First, let's talk about space. Not the Elon wants to die on Mars kind of space, but the boring terrestrial kind. Specifically, how much of it a Cybercab takes up. The Cybercab is a car. It has the footprint of a car. It occupies the lane of a car. But, in a stroke of absolute genius, it only seats 2 people. Think about that. We are taking the most inefficient form of transit, the private automobile, and we are making it even less efficient. Usually, when you design a vehicle for high-density urban environments, you try to fit more people into a smaller space, you know, like a bus or a tram, or even a humble minivan. But no, Tesla looked at a traffic jam, which is essentially a line of 5-seater cars carrying 1 person each, and decided the solution was to replace them with 2-seater cars that still take up the same amount of asphalt. It's a masterclass in geometric illiteracy. If you fill a street with Cybercabs, you haven't solved traffic in any kind of way. The throughput of a single lane of Cybercabs is mathematically pathetic compared to a sidewalk, let alone a bike lane. But wait, it gets better. Because it's autonomous, these pods will be driving around empty most of the time, looking for their next passenger. That means we're adding ghost traffic to our already crumbling infrastructure. More wear and tear on the roads, more congestion at intersections, all so you can sit in a tiny windowless box and pretend you're in Blade Runner while you're actually just stuck behind a garbage truck in suburban Phoenix. Because of course, the best way to move thousands of people through a city is to give every single one of them their own individual 2-ton computerized bubble. Revolutionary! The Cybercab has no steering wheel, no pedals, no mirrors. In the industry, we call this bold. In the real world, we call it a liability nightmare. Tesla's pitch is that by 2026, full self-driving will finally be unsupervised. Now, for a car to be truly autonomous without a human failsafe, the software doesn't just need to be good, it needs to be perfect. If a human driver makes a mistake once every 100,000 miles, the robot needs to make a mistake once every 1 million miles, just to be statistically tolerable. Tesla claims they are close because FSD version 14 is quasi-level 4. Quasi. That's a lovely word, isn't it? It's Latin for "we're almost there, but please don't sue us" when the car mistakes a moonlit puddle for a portal to another dimension. The removal of the steering wheel isn't a functional upgrade, it's a psychological trick. It's designed to make you think the problem is solved, but removing the controls doesn't actually make the AI smarter. It just means that when the vision-only system gets blinded by a low-hanging sun or a stray plastic bag, both of which have famously confused Teslas in the past, there is literally nothing you can do but sit there and contemplate your life choices until the inevitable crunch. And then there's the regulatory Mirage. Tesla tells investors that the rate of regulatory approval will match the rate of production. Because as we all know, government agencies are famous for their speed and their willingness to let steering wheel-less boxes roam the streets based on "trust me bro" data. In reality, unsupervised currently means supervised by a guy in a van following the car, as seen in early 2026 pilots. It's a $30,000 robot that still needs a human babysitter. What a time to be alive! Now we come to the part of the presentation where Elon decides to reinvent the plug. The Cybercab has no charging port. Instead, it relies entirely on inductive charging. Tesla's marketing calls this seamless and futuristic. I call it a solution in search of a problem that only succeeds in making the laws of physics sad. Here's the thing: wires are great. They are cheap, they are durable, and they are incredibly efficient at moving electrons from A to B. Inductive charging, on the other hand, is basically a fancy way of heating up the pavement. You're trying to jump electricity across an air gap using magnetic fields. Tesla claims they've achieved well over 90% efficiency, which is a bit like a student claiming they almost passed a test they actually failed. In a world where we're supposed to be saving the planet with EVs, Tesla has designed a car that is built in to be less efficient than the cars they already sell. And let's talk about the infrastructure. To use a Cybercab, you don't just need a parking spot. You need a precision-engineered, high-powered induction pad buried in the concrete. These pads are significantly more expensive to manufacture and install than a standard copper cable. If the car is slightly misaligned, say because of a rogue pebble or a slightly uneven patch of asphalt, the efficiency drops even further. But the real kicker is the why. Why do this? Because apparently the act of a robot arm plugging in a cable, a technology Tesla already showed off years ago with their metal snake charger, was too simple. We had to go with the option that wastes more energy and costs more to build, just so we could say the car is portless. Now we get to the economic miracle. The pitch is that you won't just own a Cybercab, you'll own a business. While you're tucked in bed dreaming of Mars colonies, your car will be out in the streets, hustling for fares and depositing cold, hard cash into your account. It's the Airbnb on wheels. But let's look at the logistics of this managed fleet for a second. Tesla says they'll take a 25% to 30% cut of your earnings for the privilege of using their app. That leaves you with the remaining 70% to cover the car payment, the electricity, the specialized insurance for a driverless liability magnet, and, most importantly, the maintenance. Have you ever been in an Uber at 2 a.m.? People are, to put it mildly, disgusting. They spill drinks. They leave trash. In a normal Uber, the driver is there to stop the carnage, or at least clean it up immediately. In an unsupervised Cybercab, the next passenger is the one who discovers the gift left by the previous occupant. Tesla's answer? It's easy to clean automatically. How? Is there a tiny robot butler living in the trunk? Does it have a self-sanitizing flamethrower? No. In the real world, automatic cleaning usually means you, the owner, driving to a depot at 3 a.m. to scrub vomit out of your $30,000 investment because the app disabled your car due to passenger biohazard reports. And then there's the insurance. Standard insurers generally aren't fans of vehicles with no steering wheels that drive themselves while the owner is asleep. The liability alone makes the premiums high enough to swallow your passive income whole. It's the classic gig economy trap. You take 100% of the risk, do 100% of the maintenance, and Tesla takes 30% of the revenue for providing the software that occasionally tries to fight a stop sign. What a great deal! So, what is the Cybercab really? Is it the future of transportation? No. Is it a practical solution for urban congestion? Definitely not. It's a $30,000 stock pump on wheels. The Cybercab exists because Tesla has a problem. Selling cars is getting harder. Competition from China is eating their lunch, and their current lineup is aging faster than a tech billionaire's social reputation. To maintain that absurd valuation, they need to convince you that they aren't just a car company. They're an AI and robotics powerhouse. And what better way to do that than with a shiny, steering wheel-less pod that is always just a year away from being fully ready? In my opinion, the Cybercab is the ultimate Tesla product. It's flashy, technologically impressive in the most useless ways possible, and it completely ignores the fundamental reality of how cities work. It's a two-seater solution to a 50-person problem. But the doors actually look cool though, like in a 1980s sci-fi movie sort of way. Everything else is a geometric, logistical, and economic dumpster fire. Thanks for watching, and remember, if a piece of technology claims to solve traffic by adding more cars to the road, it's not a revolution, it's a scam. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time.